Well, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Restoration Rundown podcast, the podcast that's dedicated to you, the restoration business owner. My name is Ben. I am your host, and I'm also the CEO of Ironclad Restoration Marketing, where we help restoration business owners across the United States get more sales just by getting their internet marketing right. Today is a super important episode, much like all the other ones, if I do say so myself. But today we're going to talk about how to better position your business in local search maps, and also help convert eyeballs into sales and help guide more leads and more traffic to your site just by getting Google reviews. So we're going to start off by talking about why you need them, right? So it's obvious, okay? Reviews are really tough to get, and we know that. And Google knows that. And so do the other review platforms. That's why they're so important. But reviews help people in a lot of ways, not only find your business, but also make their buying decisions. And you know, this is the truth, right? So what do when you and your wife or you and your husband are looking for a place to go eat, or maybe you're vetting out a store in a new area? You're going to go right online. You're going to go to a search engine most of the time. You're going to go on Google and you're going to look up restaurants in your area. And typically the next thing you do, maybe you look at the menu, but you're always going to, at some point, take a look at what other people are saying about your about the business that you're going to go do business with. Okay. Whether it's a product or a service. And the same thing, especially in the home services industry, is true. People don't want to get ripped off. They're afraid of getting ripped off. They're afraid of being left in a worse situation than they're already in. You have to build up a ton of trust. And reviews are a great first step, and sometimes the last step in doing so. All right. So today we're going to talk about why you need the reviews. And then we're also going to take it a step further and show you how you can get more for your restoration business, because we know it is difficult to get those reviews. I'm going to share my screen with you real quick, and we're going to get right into it, guys. So if you're listening in on one of the streaming services, that's great. You can check out our YouTube, the Restoration Rundown. You can kind of take a look at these slides, but a lot of this stuff is going to be very straightforward. And if you take anything away from this today, it's that you need the reviews 100%. It's something you actively have to be doing. It's a lot of work, but if you get yourself into a good system, it becomes like second nature. All right. So number one, outside of what we talked about before, one of the biggest reasons that you need Google reviews for your restoration business is that they actually influence search engine results. And that's always been kind of the case. But more so lately, the algorithm update, the big core update that happened last November, December, weighed a little bit heavier on your maps rankings for local businesses, for your Google business page, and reviews are a big part of that. So the more good reviews you have, or the more reviews you have, let's just put it that way, the higher up your restoration is going to appear on local search results and maps, which is your bread and butter, right? People aren't doing national searches for property damage restoration contractors in the area. They're looking up in their local area, restoration contractor near me, water damage restoration in X city, et cetera, et cetera. And these review signals actually make up greater than 15% of ranking factors. Now, there's hundreds of ranking factors, right? You have to have the right content on your website. You have to have your ducks in a row as far as your digital footprint, but reviews make up a big percentage of that. I mean, that's 15% is big when you're talking about having hundreds of different review ranking factors. So you definitely want to get those reviews from a search engine perspective, especially, a lot of you guys are spending a bunch of money on SEO. You're running pay-per-click, you're managing a Google business page, you're doing everything correctly, and you're not getting those reviews in. So these reviews are a big piece of that puzzle. And it's something that everybody struggles with. It's hard to get into the mode of getting them, especially because it's so hard to extract the reviews. So, you're putting in all this work to try to get your customers to leave you reviews, and they're not doing it. I mean, at some point, some people just give up and say, forget it, and they're on to other things. And it's something we preach to our clients ad nauseum, every single month when we go over the data for their websites and the marketing that we're doing for them. We always are monitoring the reviews, and we're giving them tips and tricks on how to get more. And we usually see that. It's like, hey, they're trying, but they're limping into it. You really got to work hard. The guys that are getting reviews 2-3 a month, which is great. It's more about consistency and authenticity. Those guys are really working hard to get those reviews. Okay. So you can do the best job in the world for somebody. But to get them to take action, to leave you a review, is almost impossible. The only way people are actively going to go just jump on and leave you a review is when you piss them off, right? It's the same thing with the restaurants. It's the same thing with a lot of things. And that's, I think, is one of the reasons Google weighs so heavily on these reviews. Okay. Number two, Your social proof with the reviews are going to influence that purchase. All right. So recently they talked, and 78% of consumers say positive reviews make them trust a business more. Oh, go figure. That's common sense, right? We all know that. If you're going to, like I said before, if you're going to go choose a restaurant to go eat at, you're going to look at the reviews. And if everybody said, there's roaches, the wait staff sucks, it's terrible, 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 you're probably not going to go there. But if people are leaving reviews saying, hey, this is fantastic, this food is the best I've ever eaten, it's great, awesome, you're most likely going to make a reservation at the restaurant or just show up. And you got to think about it like this. Just because people are more motivated when they're pissed to leave reviews, that's why this is going to help influence the purchase, right? And 87% of consumers do read online reviews to make their buying decisions. Now, I would imagine that number is higher. That's just the recent numbers that Google populated when we were looking up, trying to figure out what kind of social proof that influences these purchases. So especially in the property damage restoration world, I mean, a good review is great because you can talk about on your website, your social media, your whatever, your LinkedIn, how great you are till you're blue in the face, but nobody cares. It's when somebody else talks about you, whether it's a social media post saying, hey, this company came in, I had mold, they remediated it, I can't thank them enough, I've got a beautiful brand new kitchen if you do reconstruction. That kind of stuff is going to go a long ways because it's somebody else talking about you. It's like a great referral. So you want to boost those reviews up, especially on Google. You do want them on all the platforms, as many as you can get. If you can get them on Angie's List, Yelp, Home Advisors, Google, Facebook, awesome. But for now, let's concentrate on getting your Google because odds are that's where a big majority and lion's share of your marketing budget is going to if you're doing things properly. And number 3, as we talked about before, reviews do help with decision-making, not from the obvious that we just spoke with, but you got to think in your world, there's already some certain level of anxiety that exists. Okay. These people aren't looking for a restaurant, right? These people have come home. Their house is flooded. A storm blew their roof off. There's mold. It's caught on fire. There's a lot of anxiety that exists with this. And there's a lot of uncertainty and fear. Okay. So in our web conversion, videos and our podcast that we made, we talk about addressing those fears with your marketing messaging. All right. So you identify who your target client is, identify their fears, and then you address those fears, right? And it could be, license and insure is a simple way to address that fear. But a great way is via online reviews, right? So you have to build a level of trust to go into their homes. They don't want to get ripped off. They don't want their house left in a worse situation than it was before. They don't want to deal with the headache of dealing with the insurance companies. All those things that exist that you guys know that you deal with on a daily basis that are kind of sticking points to trying to get into these jobs. Those Google reviews can help circumvent a lot of that. So if you can segment a certain amount of your potential clients to overcome those fears right off the bat with Google reviews, why not? And that's another huge reason, 1, you get ranked better on Google. 2, it eliminates all that back and forth. It eliminates them bouncing around. They need somebody to help them right away. And your Google reviews can help them do that. All right. When they're choosing somebody to come into their home and remediate catastrophic property damage, they need to know that you're not going to make it worse. And they already have enough headaches and they don't want to deal with it anymore. All right. So just think about things like that when you're neglecting getting reviews, because you're really putting yourself behind all of your competition. Okay. You need to show off how great you are, why you're so great, and help yourself convert. And also more so to get you to rank better on Google. Right. So you can do a ton of SEO work. You can do all this great work and you're doing everything fine. But if you're not getting those reviews consistently, it's like watering down your gas. Right. It's going to get you there eventually, but everything's not going to be running perfectly. So, review management, reputation management needs to be a big part of your operations, especially when it comes to digital marketing. Now, doing it yourself is awesome. We always coach people to do that themselves. It gets their techs in a good pattern and kind of gets them used to asking for the reviews to solicit them from your customers. And it gets you guys in before you hire somebody else to handle that. You kind of already know what the deal is. You know what the cause and effect is. Good reviews equals better conversions equals better rankings. People are going to make their buying decisions a little easier. So think about all that stuff when, hopefully your marketing company's kind of pounding the table and telling you got to get more reviews, because it is important. We see some clients that get a ton. They get legitimate. That's a big word. We'll step back. These reviews need to be legitimate. Do not buy reviews. Do not do anything, especially when it comes to Google. Don't do anything to try to get into a gray area to circumvent their guidelines, okay? Because you will be very sorry if you do get blacklisted. So you'll be sorry first when they shut down, they start deleting reviews. They'll start deleting legitimate reviews. They'll shut down and suspend your Google business profile. So you'll start over. You can even affect your organic rankings. They'll just stop indexing your website. Don't do anything that circumvents their guidelines. Get these reviews legitimately from legitimate clients in areas. Okay. So, it's very important. One, because it's people can tell and Google can tell, and I see it get shut down, and you don't have to go in crazy. Like, let's say June, we're in June right now. June, you get 50 reviews because you've really hammered the streets. You called everybody, you've gotten your techs on board, and then July, you get nothing. August, you get nothing. September, you get nothing. You kind of back off a little bit. No, you want consistency. Even if you get one a month over the course of a year, that's 12 new good Google reviews. And a lot of guys that we work with don't even have 7 or 8, and maybe they do. They're just don't even leave any kind of comment. It's just a star rating, which is fine. That's the bare minimum. But a good track to be on is to be able to get 75% of your clients to leave you a review. That means every 10 jobs you do, you get 7.5, or let's just say 8 reviews, 7 reviews. That's amazing. If you can do that between 2 and whatever is many, the sky's the limit reviews on a monthly basis, consistency is key. Google's going to factor that into when you're trying to rank better on the map section. They are all about providing their user base the best, most relevant results ever, right? So if you're the relevant result because you have the best reviews, you have the best technical SEO on your website, everything is set up perfect, and you're following within their guidelines, and you're actively doing work on your Google business page, you're going to reap the benefits of all that. So hopefully that was enough to convince you more so. And we talk about it till we're blue in the face with our clients, and some get it, some don't. And unfortunately, it's an area of contention, right? So if that wasn't enough reasons for you, we talked money. It's going to make you more money. It's going to get you better rankings. That's going to make you more money, and it's going to help people make their decisions. You're going to have a lot less of distrust. You're going to be stepping in pre-qualified to somebody, and when they do pick up the phone to call you, they're ready to go. Now, you do have that benefit a little bit being in your industry because they have property damage. They're not ho-humming about a restaurant to go to. They need somebody to come fix their stuff now. But you can eliminate a lot of headaches for yourself. So how do you get reviews? So the number one thing that we tell everybody is, when you are done with the job, for those of you guys that do reconstruction, perfect time is when they have that brand new bathroom or brand new kitchen, and they're all smiles, and they finally get to move all their stuff back into the house. And you say, you know what, by the way, if we've done such a great service for you, it would really help us out is if you could share your experience, and you make it easy for them. Just ask them right on the spot. You got to make it really easy. So that's something you have to keep in mind, right? So you can text them a link. Right in your Google business page, there's actually a spot where it says share review form. When you look at your dashboard, that's going to generate a custom link. Now you can take that link, you can create an email, you can create a text message, and you can also put it on a QR code like we did down here. I just threw this together really quick. Now, this is another thing that we do for our clients, and we have our clients do this a lot, is we create little rack cards. They're really cheap, 4x6 little postcard that says, thank you for doing business with us. We were really proud of the work that we've done, et cetera, et cetera. Take a moment, leave us a quick Google review. And if they scan this QR code, boom, it automatically pops up to that link that you shared from your Google dashboard, and it makes it very easy for them to leave you a Google review. Remember, the harder you make it for them, the less apt they're going to leave you a review. You got to make it like a layup. Like, it has to be a wide, full open court shot for them to be able to do it, because it's very tough unless you piss them off, and you don't want those types of reviews. You got to make it really easy. So ask immediately when a job is completed. These rat guards are a good thing to keep in your onboarding or your offboarding paperwork. So you have your tech hand that card right to them at the end. Hopefully you've built up some sort of level of trust. They know your tech. They're probably, if they're the homeowner that's kind of a micromanager, they've been in and out, they're making you do little things and making little changes. And you know what? Here's the give and take with it. Leave us a review. That would be great. And now you have a homeowner who's super happy, super motivated to leave you a review. You've made it very easy for them. Texting a link is great. That's an easy thing. Hand them that rat card. When you leave, have somebody in your office, whether it's a tech or yourself, if you own the business and you're doing everything, send them a text. Nice little paragraph, so happy to be able to help you out. If you have any problems at all, please call us. By the way, leave us a review. All right. The same thing that you need to be doing is emailing a review request. Send that same text in an email. You should be collecting emails and phone numbers of all of your customers and clients. Even this email, if you haven't done it before, go back into your email list and send a blanket email out. Use MailChimp. MailChimp is free up to 2,500 users, I think, still. Put a blanket email in there and thank them, put your customer service hat on, throw a QR code in there, throw the link in there that they can click and email your list, email it once a month until they, tell you to stop. Sending this postcard is great too with a little gift. If you want to send you have your text listen out and you notice that this person comes back with Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts every single day and they're drinking coffee all the time, send them a $10 gift card with a postcard. Leave us a review. Here's a $10, give yourself a couple coffees. Well, maybe at Starbucks, maybe that $10 gift card would be like a half a coffee, but that's neither here nor there. But do something like that, right? And the bigger thing is don't give up. All right. The guys that we know that do the best are relentless. Like they're asking at job close, they're texting and emailing and sending these cards out until that person leaves them a review or tells them to pound rocks. Right? So be relentless. Don't give up. These are so important for your business as far as your visibility and everything we talked about before, that if you give up, you're just going to be like the rest of the guys. And we want to elevate you to being better with your business and making more money. Okay. If you can, leave reviews on multiple channels, right? Maybe they don't want to leave a Google reviews. Make sure they have a way to leave you a Facebook review. Make sure they have a way to leave you an Angie's List review or Home Advisors or whatever channel you can get. A review is a review. Obviously, we want Google reviews because you're directly putting money into that marketing and you want to get something out of it. It's just going to help. It's just throwing gas on the fire. You can hire a reputation management company. There's a lot of great rep management companies. They'll send out, they're basically going to do what I just told you to do. They're going to be sending texts. They're going to be sending emails. They're going to be relentless getting these reviews, and they're going to post those reviews for you on multiple channels. Just make sure you're very clear with what they're doing with those reviews. We want to make sure that they are legit. They're going on Google. That's going to be your priority. But we have heard from a few clients that do really well that have hired reputation management companies that are doing a killer job for them. They have a custom service and they're getting a lot of reviews, which is great. They're getting consistent reviews, 5 a month. That's awesome. And make sure you're displaying the reviews on your website. Okay. Why not? There are multiple plugins. If you have a WordPress site, if you don't, you should. Other sites have them as well, I'm sure, but there's a lot of plugins that link up with an API, your Google business page to your website, and it'll display those reviews on your homepage. Look, it's so hard to get them. Let's use these things. Let's get as much juice out of these lemons as possible and get those reviews displayed on your website, display them on your social media. Every time somebody leaves a review, throw it up as a social media post. A lot of guys are scrambling for content. How do we leverage our social media and our Facebook and our Instagram to get more leads? Share your reviews. Right. People aren't going on Facebook and aren't going on Instagram to look for property damage restoration contractors, but there are other companies. There are assessment companies. There are indoor air quality companies. There's a lot of verticals of referral on social media that will take notice if you're doing things correctly. And those good reviews are going to help them make a decision to say, hey, let's refer them some work. The same token, you have people that you're hopefully building an audience on your social media. Those reviews are going to help them keep that top of mind mentality. When they do have something happen, because it's bound to happen, they're going to think about you because you are the one that's consistently out there doing the right thing. Now, the other thing about having these reviews displayed is, again, it's really hard to get them. So you want to make sure that you're using them to their full advantage. All right. Make sure you display them on your website. Make sure you're sharing them on social media. Just do everything you can with these reviews. And you will start seeing, not only from an SEO perspective, you're going to see your rankings climb. You're going to hopefully see that phone start ringing a little bit more. You're going to have people that are pre-qualified, ready to go. You don't have the skepticism that exists when just some newbie calls you up out of the blue. They might have found your card somewhere, or they just Googled you and didn't really check out your reviews. You're going to circumvent a lot of that stuff. Okay. Reviews are one of the fundamental parts of your marketing strategy. They need to be anyways. All right. So you have a good website that's performing correctly and it's built to convert. You have your social media on lock. You are doing the right things with your Google business profile. And now you're getting these reviews. You're going to start growing your restoration business the right way. Now, if you have any questions on getting Google reviews or how to do it, shoot us a DM, send us a message, drop a comment. If you're struggling with a certain aspect of it, send us a message. We will address it. I'll jump on here or I'll contact you directly and we can walk you through some ways that you can do this. Now, one other thing with the reviews, and this is just a little hack, and we'll leave this here towards the end of this podcast. If you can get your customer to directly address the type of work that you performed for them, i.e., so-and-so company came here and performed water damage restoration, or I had a leak in my basement, a sump pump failed, I found mold in my closet, a storm blew my roof off. If they can directly write those, and we'll call them keywords, in their review, that is killer. That is actually going to help you even more because now you're putting a keyword in there. They're also leaving that review from a location, so proximity comes into play. And a step above that, and this is hard to do, but you can get them every once in a while, have them put up before and after pictures on the review. That is going to really do you a lot of favors. I mean, it's like, review with 7 gold stars next to it. Okay. Google uses that. Their AI looks at those pictures, looks at the exit data, looks at the proximity. They look at the keywords, all that stuff lends into your organic traffic. So if you have a water damage restoration page on your website, or a city landing page like you should be doing for SEO, and you have these types of reviews and you're responding to the reviews, good or bad, you have to respond to them. It's very important. It's just customer service. It's part of what Google wants you to do. You are really completing a good picture, and you should be well on your way to increasing your sales and increasing your leads. That's all the time we've got today. Thanks for tuning in to the Restoration Rundown. Stay tuned. We've got some really cool episodes coming up throughout the summer. If you are reliant on storm damage leads to grow, during the storm season, we've got a really good episode coming up about pay-per-click and what you need to be doing for your restoration business to get those storm damage leads and beat out your competition. Until next time, my name is Ben. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share.